Good morning, children. Now, today we will study about the quantization of energy and Bohr's model. According to Bohr's model, the energy of the electron in an atom is quantized. Quantization means that a quantity cannot vary continuously to have an arbitrary values but can change only discontinuously to have some specific values. To illustrate this point, we can take the example. Suppose a person moving down a staircase, then the energy of the person changes discontinuously. And he can have only certain definite values of energy corresponding to the energies of various steps. So energy of a person in this case is quantized. Or when the certain values of energies are possible, then it is called as quantized energy. Because when we are using the stairs to go upward or coming downward, then a certain amount of energy, that is space which is available to you, it will be limited. But when we are using a ramp to coming downward, then there is the energy which is used continuously, that you can see in the picture, that when we are using the staircase, then the energy is quantized, and when we are using the ramp, then the energy is continuously. Similarly, when an electron is present in an orbit and it make a transition from either lower to higher energy level or higher to energy level, its energy is quantized. Because to move an electron from to lower to higher energy level, it has to absorb certain amount of energy which is equal to the difference between the two energy levels. That is the meaning of quantization. So suppose the difference between the two energy level is 5 kilojoule of energy, then the electron will absorb 5 kilojoule of energy in one time, and then only it will make a transition. So for making a transition, the electron will certain amount of energy in one time, not continuously like the RAM. That is the meaning of quantization. So according to Bohr's model, an electron in an atom can be present only in those orbits in which angular momentum of the electron is whole number multiple of h upon 2 pi according to the Bohr's model. These orbits are associated with a definite amount of energy. Hence, the electron in an atom can have only certain definite values of energy, that is, the energy of the electron in an atom is quantized. That you study in the Bohr's model. Only those orbits are possible in which the angular momentum of the electron is either h upon 2 pi or its integral multiple. And that's why the certain amount of energy will be absorbed by the electron in one time, not continuously. That is the meaning of quantization. Now we'll study what are the successes of the Bohr's model. The first point, the main successes of Bohr's model are, the first point is, the Bohr's model could explain the stability of an atom. According to Bohr's model, an electron revolving in a particular orbit cannot lose energy. The electron can lose energy only if it jumps to some lower energy level. If no lower energy level is vacant, then electron will keep on revolving in the same orbit without losing energy, and hence it explains the stability of the atom. Now the second point, Bohr's theory helped in calculating energy of an electron in a particular orbit. On the basis of various postulates of Bohr's model, it is possible to derive a mathematical relation for energy of an electron in nth orbit of hydrogen. The expression is En is equal to minus k square 2 pi square m e to the power 4 upon n square h square, where m is equal to mass of the electron, E is equal to charge on the electron, h is Planck's constant, and k is Coulomb's law constant. The value of Coulomb's law constant k is 9 into 10 to the power 9 joule meter per coulomb square. Substituting the values of m, e, h, pi and k in the above expression, we get En is equal to minus 2.178 into 10 to the power minus 18 upon n square joule per atom. This can be represented in electron volt per atom also. Then the joule can be converted into electron volt minus, and then it is equal to minus 13.595 upon n square electron volt per atom, which is equal to 1312 upon n square kilojoule per mole. Now it is converted into mole because we have to represent in terms of mole. So it is, you can see the expression, the energy of an electron in various orbit we can calculate by placing the value of n. So n may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can find out the value of the energy of an electron present in the particular orbit. So in this way we can find, suppose for the first orbit, then it is minus 1312 upon 1 square kilojoule per mole. For the second orbit, it is minus 1312 upon 4, that is square of 2 kilojoule per mole. In this way we can find out the energy of the electron. Similarly, Bohr was able to derive the expression for the radius of an orbit in hydrogen atom. Then he gave the expression Rn is equal to n square h square upon 4 pi square k m e square. Now all these values are constant here. H square, 4, pi square, k, m, these are constant. On the basis of this, it is equal to n square into 0.529 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So we can convert it into n square into 0.529 angstrom. We can also represent in terms of centimeter or in millimeter, whatever that you can place, or even in the picometer, 52.9 picometer. Thus, as n increases, the radius of the orbit also increases. The radius of first orbit of hydrogen is equal to 0.529 angstrom. This is also known as Bohr's radius. It may be noted that Rn is proportional to n square. Therefore, as the value of n increases, the separation between the orbits also increases. So we can write Rn is equal to n square into a. So in this way we can say, as Rn is directly proportional to n square, therefore as the value of n increases, the separation between the orbits also increases. Now the third point, Bohr's model could explain the atomic spectrum of hydrogen. According to Bohr's model, electron in an atom can have only certain definite energy levels. When the electron is present in lowest possible energy level, it is said to be in ground state. When energy is supplied from some external source, the electron may absorb energy and jump to some higher energy level. The electron in such a state is said to be in excited state. The excited state is unstable and therefore the electron has tendency to come back to the ground state. When the electron jumps back to lower energy level, it gives out energy in the form of a quantum equal to the difference of energies between the two energy levels. If E1 and E2 are the energies of lower and higher energy levels respectively, the frequency of the radiations emitted by the following relation is E2 minus E1 is equal to h nu, or we can write nu is equal to E2 minus E1 upon h, where h is Planck's constant. According to Bohr's model, in a hydrogen atom or in any other atom, E2 and E1 can have only certain definite values. From this, it follows that nu can have only certain fixed values. Thus, Bohr's model explains why there are certain discrete lines in the spectrum of hydrogen. Bohr's model also accounts for the existence of so many lines in hydrogen spectrum. Since large number of different types of downward transitions take place simultaneously in a sample of hydrogen, therefore large number of lines are obtained in emission spectrum of hydrogen. The lines which arise due to the transition from higher energy level to first energy level are grouped as Lyman series that you have already studied. Similarly, the lines obtained as a result of transitions of electron from higher energy level to second, third, fourth and fifth energy levels give rise to Balmer, Paschen, Bracken and Pfund series respectively. So the formula you already know. Suppose an electron from an orbit having n is equal to ni, and that is initial also, ni jumps to an orbit having n is equal to n final in hydrogen atom. As a result of this transition, the energy change equal to delta E takes place. Delta E is equal to E final minus E initial. Now we can write the energy for the final and initial state. For the final, it is minus 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule divided by n final square minus 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule upon Ni square. So we'll take common from here, 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18, and then it is 1 upon Ni square minus 1 upon Nf square joule per atom. In case Ni is greater than Nf, the delta E should be negative, indicating that the energy is given out. So on the basis of the sign of the energy, we can say whether the energy is given out or energy is absorbed. Thus, energy is given out in the form of photon of radiation. The frequency of the emitted photon is related to delta E, as delta E is equal to h nu. So, nu is equal to delta E upon h is equal to 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 upon h, and 1 upon Ni square minus 1 upon Nf square. So, nu is equal to 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule upon, now we paste the value of h, 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. So, this is 1 upon Ni square minus 1 upon Nf square. Now the unit will be second inverse for the frequency, and the value of the frequency will be 3.29 into 10 to the power 15, 1 upon Ni square minus 1 upon Nf square. That is the different energy labels. The wave number nu bar of the radiation may be calculated as nu bar is equal to frequency upon C. So we can write the frequency is 3.29 into 10 to the power 15. Second inverse divided by 3 into 10 to the power 10 centimeter inverse, 1 upon Ni square minus 1 upon Nf square. Now nu bar is equal to 109677, 1 upon Ni square minus 1 upon Nf square. Now this expression is same as deduced by the Rydberg from the experimental data that you have studied in the emission spectrum of hydrogen, and then the formula for it. So the value is same as that we have put, that is 109677, which is equal to Rydberg's constant. So in this way we can see what are the success of the Bohr's model. I am repeating first. In the first, Bohr's model could explain the stability of an atom. Number 2, Bohr's theory helped in calculating energy of an electron in a particular orbit and calculation of the radius of the atom. Third point, the Bohr's model could explain the atomic spectrum of hydrogen, because the different lines we get the same as you have already studied about the emission spectrum, and the value of RH is also same, which was calculated by the Rydberg. So in this way we can see the success of the Bohr's model. Now you solve some numerical based on the Bohr's model or energy transition.